Hello everyone, and welcome to a video aimed at the liturgy group at Fisher House Catholic Chaplaincy. This will cover how to draft the music planner. We will cover the drafting process, how to create a draft document, adding each of the parts of the music for the Mass in turn, and adding links to scores and recordings. Notably, we will not be covering what music to choose, just how the list is formatted. This flow diagram gives a general overview of the drafting process. This begins with careful preparation by engaging with resources such as the readings of the day, previous music lists, professional liturgy planning resources, your own reflections, and feedback from the congregation. This then progresses to making choices for each of the elements, with hymns usually taking up the vast majority of the time required. Music lists then go through a process of review to ensure that they are as good as possible, returning to drafting of each component until perfected and being distributed with musicians. Firstly, access the Liturgy Planning OneDrive. Click on the Word document marked Template. Click on the three dots. In the drop-down list, click Copy To, which will produce a pop-up. In that pop-up, click on the file names at the top to navigate to Liturgy Planning and click Copy Here. The reason for doing this is that you cannot copy to the same file location, and so we'll have to copy here first and rename before moving it back into the folder marked Music Planner. With the new copy made, click on it, click the three dots, and now click on Rename, which will produce a pop-up. Replace template with the dates that the music planner will cover in year, month, day format, which makes it easier to keep all of these files in the correct order. If you do not know the dates that the music list will cover, consult the term dates, assuming one Sunday either side. If you are planning for out of term, then do this and go for all of the times in between. You can always consult the director of music or the chaplain. Once you have moved the new document back into the folder Music Planner, you can now open it. I would recommend opening this in the desktop app if you can, as this will make things a bit easier. The template is set up assuming that the top two boxes will have one line of text and the other boxes will have two lines of text. If these boxes overfill, then you should reduce the font size just enough to fit into the box without expanding the whole row of the table. The template is also set up with Candara font in size 11. Don't increase the font size. Be careful when copy-pasting information to make sure that the formatting is that of the music planner rather than any external formatting. First, fill in the details of the Sundays, feasts and solemnities that will be covered. In this example, one of the dates overfills the cell in the table. I therefore reduced the font size to 10.5, which was enough to fit it in and is not visually that different from size 11. Next, we will fill in the mandatory parts of the liturgy. Consult the Missal or the digital resources from the Liturgy Office of England and Wales, bearing in mind in both cases the use of the new translation of the lectionary. If you are planning music for the Latin Mass, consult the Graduale for this. Here I have filled in the Psalm and Gospel acclamation. For the Psalm, I have included the Psalm number and the response. For the Gospel acclamation, I have included the verse that the council sings, assuming that the acclamation will be Alleluia except in Lent. Next, I will add the Mass setting. Here, the key thing is to list both the name of the setting and the composer. I also add an asterisk in front of this name, which will become relevant later. You can use different settings at different parts of the Mass. For Advent and Lent, when the Gloria is not sung, add a dash instead to indicate this. Next, I will add the hymns. I start with the hymn number as listed in the hymn book, then a dash, then the title, usually the first line, then the tune name in brackets. If you will be using an alternative tune, then in the brackets, put the hymn number that that alternative tune can be found on, and then the tune name. Next, I will choose the motets. In a similar way to the Mass, write the title, then the composer, and add an asterisk at the start. For a well-known composer, you may just put the surname. For less well-known composers or more contemporary composers, you may wish to put their full name to avoid ambiguity. We will leave the choosing of organ music for the director of music to add. Now is the time to add links. In general, add links to sheet music to the leftmost text element, and links to recordings to the title of the piece. This means that, where there is no hymn or psalm number, link the sheet music to the asterisk. This approach avoids the composer name or hymn tune name being hyperlinked, which is tidier. Keep this consistent. If you have access to previous lists, you may wish to copy-paste previously used music and transfer across the links with this, avoiding having to find links again. In general, hymn links are to hymnary.org. In general, hymn recordings are from YouTube and specifically from a series of CDs titled The Complete New English Hymnal by Priory Records, which you will be able to tell by their distinctive CD covers/thumbnails with sketches of the place where the CD was recorded. That covers all of the practical side of arranging the music planner. Don't forget to double check the formatting at the end, especially the font and font size. This work forms part of the whole process of choosing music. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please do let me know, and I will try to respond as soon as possible.